Our 30th episode. Amazing. We started here in August, actually. Well, late July of last year. And we're still kicking. We're still here. This is amazing. And I want to welcome again Mr. Nick Comando, guest film critic for today. Hey, Nick, how's it going?
I have returned.
You are back for more.
And my front.
Yes. Oh, thank you. So,
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, sure. It's always great having you. I know we have a huge circle of friends, a huge network,
yes,
if you will.
Yes, a very large social network.
Yes.
Not Facebook, which
right.
we're on,
right.
But that's not what I'm talking about.
Right. We are all connected by the power of film.
Yes.
So.
And positivity.
Yes, yes. I'm so curious, what is your, you've been involved with Vinny Bonfacci's Eternal Lions Productions. Yes. I'm just curious, tell briefly your experience in film.
Well, I have a good friend of mine from high school was big into filming and making movies and such. I was involved at the age of 16 with a film that I still own the DVD to, and though it is terrible, I'm very proud of it. It was called Lowe's Fancy. It was a historical documentary-ish type situation about a pirate named Edward Lowe who took over some ships back in the 1600s.
All right.
I played a drunken pirate named Lawrence Fabens.
I could see that. That's
yes,
cool.
Yes. It was the experience was amplified by the fact that I was never a drinker, so I had a lot of experience playing a drunk person, and that I didn't. We also did a movie where I played a terrorist militant leader named Master Khan called Army of One, nice. Where I died, which was fun.
That's actually also the title of a Nicolas Cage comedy that came out last year. Army of
is
One.
it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well,
it's a strange movie.
We're not going to sue him.
No.
So that's good.
Good.
So I have that experience, which I ended up through my girlfriend. Her best friend is his fiance, and when I first met him, I told him about these experiences, and he approached me about doing a film that we're trying to get the ball rolling on called Last Hit,
right? Where
I will be one of the characters in it. So that is my experience with film, sort of start to finish, amongst not including any school productions. I was in second grade part of the school production of The Little Mermaid as a wedding goer.
Nice.
I adorably took my jacket off, was yelled at, and had to put it back on because I was hot.
Oh no!
So that's my experience, and I apologize for rambling.
No, it's fine. I just was curious, and I'm sure everyone watching was curious too. And we worked together, you and I.
Yes, we did.
We were zombies in a wedding video.
We were zombies in a wedding video. It was great.
That was awesome.
We were infected by a disease, and we're zombies from it.
Yeah, we were all ready for the park.
I think everyone starts as a zombie.
Yeah.
I was a zombie.
That's
too.
a prerequisite.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was a zombie too. Yeah.
What was your zombie experience?
I was a part of this running thing. Like it was like when everyone starts running for some reason. Like everyone was doing these different themed runs. I was a zombie for this running theme thing.
Yeah.
And it was me and a couple of people. And I was a zombie. I was doing pretty good. I got the whole makeup done, top to bottom. And my other friend, same thing, but he got sand thrown in his face. Oh. So you see the zombie coming at you. This guy yells, "Pocket sand!" Throws it in his eyes, and now he's like a crying zombie. He's like, "Oh my eyes!"
Oh my god!
I gotta start as a zombie. It's
you guys
crazy.
must have been dead after that run.
Oh. Hey now. Well, that's awesome. Thank you, Steve.
Awesome. Waiting to throw that one out there.
Yeah, we were all zombies at one point.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Luckily, all we had to do was stumble because I don't really run unless I'm playing a sport or I'm being chased.
Yeah, we were
since
on,
neither of those happens all that often, I don't run that much.
we were on a sort of a hill in the middle of the woods.
Yes.
And we couldn't really look down because then we'd look too human, I think.
Yes,
So we were kind of just stumbling in
Our
zombie
heads
fashion.
have to be
Yeah,
cocked to one side.
Pretty good makeup
Sorry.
too, I must say. by
Yes,
Jake.
yes. Jake did a great job with the makeup. I felt very pretty. And also
Indeed.
dead.
Yes. All right. Well, that's cool that we went down memory lane there.
Yes.
But now to the business at hand. We've got 2 films today. We usually have 3, but we decided 2 is a little more. It's easier to digest, you know.
Yes.
So
Easier on the bowels.
indeed. So the first one, an Australian action thriller called Goldstone.
That was considered an action thriller?
Yeah, the last scene was pretty good. The gun battle.
It was more of I just find that to be. I mean, yes, okay. It did have guns in it. There was some action. I don't know if it was necessarily thrilling, but I did. There were things that happened. I mean, my opinion, it was relatively, a dull movie.
Yes, agreed.
Not a ton happened.
Right.
The main character, forgive me, I'm blanking on his name. He was kind of Jay Swan. He was that stereotypical sort of rogue detective,
hard-boiled,
very
kinda.
hard-boiled,
Right.
like depressed, miserable person.
Drinker. Yep.
Didn't talk. Didn't want to interact all that much.
Right.
Knew how to roll up a cigarette himself, which I don't know, for some reason that always fascinates me.
It's a skill.
It was very, to me, very stereotypical.
Yeah.
Just like, okay, let's make a movie with the stereotypical detective in it who's just miserable and doesn't want to talk to anybody and doesn't want to play by the rules.
Right.
And let's make the government corrupt. And let's make the mayor
Led
Jackie
by
Weaver,
Jackie Weaver. Yep.
who bakes pies.
Yeah.
Let's make that movie. And they're dime a dozen, really. I mean, they're not. I don't necessarily believe the movie was bad. Don't get me wrong. It was just very pedestrian.
It had redeemable qualities.
Yeah.
It was almost 2 hours though. It was a little.
Yeah, it was long. It was too long.
Shave off 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I think it would have been a lot better.
Yeah, I had completely missed the part where Jimmy died.
Yeah.
Sorry if that's a spoiler, but I completely missed that part. It was like 1 minute he was alive
why?
and they were on a boat,
Or
and then all of
why?
a sudden he was dead.
Yeah.
It's
That's
like,
a big spoiler, actually.
when did he die? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not spoiler friendly. I just sort of talk.
If you're a fan of Australian cinema, I would recommend it.
Yes.
It's got a lot of scenes which is just a desert. It's kind of quiet. Honestly,
That
I
I
fell asleep
enjoyed.
a few times.
I enjoyed the desert part of it. For some reason, I found that to be oddly beautiful. Mm-hmm. Just like how it was just everywhere you looked, it was just desert and dead ground and desolate. And then there was just a house there.
Right.
And for some reason,
And a motel.
I liked that.
Yeah.
And a hotel and a bar. And for some reason, I just really enjoyed that. I don't know why, but I did. I thought it was beautiful.
And I agree with you. I like movies like that where the setting feels like a character in itself. Those are some real. But overall, this is pretty low on my radar.
Yeah, me too. Me too. It's off my radar.
The 2 cops, the main guy Jay Swan and the younger guy, not very good actors, unfortunately. I think Jackie Weaver was the saving grace.
Jackie Weaver is just a fantastic actress, and I think you could probably put her in a movie with 2 rooms and a phone book, and she'd make it interesting.
That's coming this summer, I think.
I felt coming this summer. Jackie Weaver, 2 rooms and a phone book. The phone book's from 1974.
Yes.
Ironically, the same year Jackie Weaver broke into Hollywood.
I think the phone book's played by Alec Baldwin.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Wearing his Jack Donaghy suit. I love 30 Rock.
Perfect.
Yes.
Nice.
No, I mean, it was... Where were we talking about? I
The
just lost
setting.
my train of thought.
Jackie Weaver.
Jackie Weaver, right? Sorry. She's everything I've seen her in. Silver Linings Playbook. She's fantastic in.
Right.
Everything I've seen her in, she's always very, very good. And I feel like they might have subconsciously thought to themselves, well, Jackie Weaver's in this, so at the very least she'll anchor the movie.
Yeah.
And we have a very strong, villain in it. I enjoyed David Denham, I believe his name is. He played
David Wenham.
David Wenham, excuse me.
Which one was he?
He played the case, the Silver Creek or whatever it was called. The
the short shorts.
Yeah, the short shorts. He played the evil dad in Iron Fist, and that's how I recognized him.
Nice.
I was like, the hand has you in this movie too, don't they?
He kind of reminds me of like a Domhnall Gleeson from
Yes.
General Hutz from
Yes,
Star Wars.
yes.
Kind of like that Irish, like slimy.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
And it was very out of nowhere for me too. Like when he pulled the money out and handed it to
Jay Swan.
Not
Not
Jay
just
Swan,
the other
guy.
cop.
The other cop, young cop.
Right.
That's what I called him in
Young
my
cop.
head, young cop.
Yeah.
He was just like, whoa, why? What? That? I thought you guys were just having. You offered him alcohol. What is going on here? And he just like sort of got up and was like, no, I'm not going to do that. But he was kind of the young cop was kind of just apathetic the whole time until the end, when he sort of made this, to me, ambiguous connection with one of the girls that was being trafficked, unfortunately.
Right.
And
By the way, I don't think we mentioned the plot. Like,
yeah, we didn't, because there's not much of it.
Right. Jay Swan plays this detective who he's an undercover cop who's looking for this this Asian prostitute who basically has been kidnapped, and she's being held against her will to service the men of this small dusty town.
Was he looking for that one girl, or was he just trying to uncover trafficking? Because I felt like he had some sort of personal connection to that picture he looked at, but it wasn't necessarily he was looking for her. Like, I wonder if she got caught up in it and he was trying to just stop it.
I mean, I'm assuming it was just that one girl who made that connection with the young cop, because they kept showing her for a reason, you know. So
maybe.
But you know what? The plot, it doesn't really matter, because it wasn't a very good movie.
Yeah, no, it's just, it's Goldstone, more like Gold Snore.
Yeah.
Not a ton going on, and it was, I mean, if you want to watch a guy stare off into space while someone talks to him, I mean, you could watch me in this show, or you could watch that movie.
Either or.
Either or. I mean, I think I'm better looking, but, that's point of opinion.
Maybe you'll be in the sequel.
Maybe I will. The overweight, stereotypical cop who's miserable and rolls up cigarettes.
I think we're going to have to blame writer-director Ivan Sen on this one.
Yes.
I mean, like you said, the setting, beautiful.
Yes.
That might have been the best part of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing I remember, is just him driving on these just desolate roads, and it reminded me of just family vacations I would go on when we're driving back to our hotel late at night, or our campsite late at night, and we're on these roads and there's nobody else on the road but us. Yeah. That's what it made me think of. So that's probably why I think of that part favorably. But yeah, no, not really. I wouldn't watch it again. And I don't regret watching it, but I certainly wouldn't go back and watch it a second time. And that's how I judge my movies, where I watch it again.
I did kind of like the fact that they utilized the Aboriginal.
I did like that a lot.
That
too.
was a nice touch.
I like that a ton, because
you don't see that a lot.
You don't. I mean, I believe the last time I spoke about Aborigines in any extended period was in elementary school, when we learned about Australia.
Wow.
And I got it mixed up with Austria.
It's slightly different.
Yeah, slightly different. They have slightly different accents.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I really enjoyed. I liked how they incorporated the culture into it.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed the scenes where they're on the boat and they're rowing through those caverns.
Right. That was beautiful.
That was like, God, beautiful isn't even the word.
That's awesome.
Just the rock structures were glorious,
and how
gorgeous,
and how calm the water was.
Oh God, yeah,
it was good.
Yeah,
and that's how the film ends.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does, and a nice little tribal singing in the background too, which I enjoyed.
I would go back. I mean, there's some good qualities here, but they're kind of scattered throughout, which is unfortunate, because it could have been a great movie if it were just shorter, tighter, and they maybe benefit from a little bit of better editing.
Shave off 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And make Jay Swan's directive a little bit more clear.
I think,
and give him more lines. I mean, the guy probably had like 20 lines the whole movie. In a 2-hour movie, that's
barely
nothing.
Spoke, never smiled. Yeah. If Guy Pearce were in that role, I think that would have been a lot better. Yeah,
it's interesting, because Jackie Weaver, I think, is the only one that if you look at their credits, you're actually going to have something. Or David Wenham too, but strictly because of Iron Fist. No, Wenham.
Oh, right. Short shorts.
But
that's
David Wenham would be more for Iron Fist than anything else. I don't know if I believe the actor's name for the young cop was Jake Russell. I don't think he is. I don't think he has a ton of credits. He's 30. He's very
Russell.
Young. Alex Russell. I'm sorry. I'm flubbing names left and right here. He doesn't have a ton of acting credits, and he's only 30, so he's still got. He's green. He's still got a ways to go. Yeah. Absolutely, but yeah, I would if I were to change the movie, I'd shave off 20 minutes. I would give Jay Swan more of a direct modus operandi.
Yeah,
and
give him some emotion.
Give him a
little bit.
I mean,
Just-
really, it's you can't sure. Are there cops that are like that? Sure. Do we make movies about those people? No. And if we did, we make them more interesting.
Yeah.
So there it is.
Gotcha. So that's Goldstone, and it's on my radar, but very, very low, unfortunately. Is it on your radar, Nick?
No.
Not at all.
No.
Not at all. Okay. Well, moving on to another movie that might not be on your radar. This is a strange one. It's a quirky dramedy called Oh, Lucy. And it's basically about a woman in Tokyo who decides to... Well, her niece wants her to take English lessons because she can't take them anymore and she doesn't want to waste the money on the classes. So the aunt takes the classes taught by Josh Hartnett. And basically, Josh Hartnett leaves Tokyo and the aunt goes to America to find him. And it's like this crazy adventure comedy. Nick, what did you think of this one? From what...
Oh, Lucy.
Yeah.
When I saw that title and after watching, admittedly, about 20 minutes of it, I kept thinking to myself, no, Lucy, no.
No.
I did not like this movie. I did not believe... the way the movie starts, and I don't believe this is a spoiler, the way that the movie starts, a man whispers in Lucy's ear, or Sechiko's ear,
Right.
goodbye, and jumps in front of a train.
Right.
Now you watch that and you think, oh, this is going to be about her dealing with somebody whispering in their ear goodbye before they commit suicide right in front of you.
Figuring out why he jumped.
Figuring out why they jumped.
Right.
Is there a connection?
Right.
What did they date? Was it an old high school boyfriend? What was the deal there? Apparently, he just wanted to kill himself, and they were just like, hey, let's put him in the movie. Because they don't call back to that from what you've told me.
No.
Yeah, I mean, it's the plot's pretty straightforward. It's her niece wants her to. She's not a necessarily happy person in her job. She's single. She lives alone. The scene that I saw where she was in her apartment looked kind of like she was a hoarder.
Right.
A lot of stuff around her. Right. Not that I'm judging by any means, because I probably am too.
Guilty too.
Yeah, I didn't.
Slightly.
Pop dolls are everything. It wasn't compelling to me. If I stop watching a movie, whether it's for time, whether it's because I have to do other stuff, whether it's because I'm tired, there has to be something that pulls me back to it. Oh, Lucy did not do that for me, because they kind of, and I think I probably, if I gave it 5 or 10 more minutes, I probably would have finished the movie.
Did you?
Because to the part
Did you get up to Josh Hartnett?
I got up to the part where she takes the English classes and she meets Tom. Who gives her his business.
Right.
That part I got up to. And I feel like if I had given them another 5 or 10 minutes, that part may have pulled me in, because it felt to me like they were going towards a love angle where the two of them find each other. Because he said his wife passed away. Yeah. She's single. She doesn't seem to have much prospects or really any motivation to date. And I kind of felt like maybe they were going to go that direction. Where
possible.
They put the two
I don't want to
together.
give a spoiler away, but it's possible.
Yeah, because I spoiled pretty much all of Goldstone.
It's fine.
But that's because I watched the whole movie. I didn't watch all of this.
Yes.
No, it just, to me, it wasn't compelling. It wasn't interesting.
Okay.
I'm not really interested in watching a miserable person who's kind of a spinster.
But she kind of turns around and she becomes like a well-rounded, happy person.
Yeah, I mean, the part in the bar with the retirement party, I think that just killed it for me. I was like, this lady stinks.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can say a word worse than that, but this lady is terrible. I don't like her. No. And it's just, if I don't like the main character, there's got to be something where somebody gives her a comeuppance or somebody gets back at her, and I'm like, yeah, stick it to her. But I just didn't enjoy this movie in really many ways. It's not on my radar, I would have to say.
Okay. And Megan Mullally has a brief scene in it.
Oh, if you told me that at the beginning, I would have watched the entire movie. I love Will and Grace.
No, but it's like 2 minutes long. She sits between.
Still worth it.
Yeah. What's her Sinoko?
Sechiko.
She's sitting on one side in a plane, and then the mother of Josh Hartnett's girlfriend is with her, and they're traveling back to California to find Josh Hartnett.
Okay.
And Megan Mullally is sitting between them. There's like this comedic exchange, Yeah.
Megan Mullally is glorious in anything they put her in.
Are you a
she's
big fan?
I love Will and Grace.
Uh-huh.
I'm rewatching it currently because, they brought it back, and I have to watch every other episode, even though I've watched the series 3 or 4 times. I have to watch every episode before I get to the new season because that's just how I choose to live my life.
How many seasons? I never got into Will and Grace.
It's 8 seasons, 1998 to 2006. So they, right in my middle school to high school years, and I own every season on DVD.
Okay.
Because I grew up in a time where DVDs were a thing, as
Yeah.
did you and
Yes.
other people.
Still,
that
I
are
mean, I
in this
collect
room.
DVDs.
Yes, me too.
So, if it's a movie I really, really want.
Absolutely.
I collect DVDs for the behind the scenes stuff.
Oh.
There you go.
Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like Baby Driver. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That movie. I'm like, I gotta know everything about that movie because it's Edgar Wright, and I need to know everything about Edgar Wright. And all those
Yeah.
movies.
I wish he didn't do Ant-Man, right?
No, but you
no,
can
he
definitely
was-
tell he wrote it. You can definitely tell
he
he had
wrote
a
it.
hand in it.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
You can definitely tell he had a hand in it, where they have those scenes where they're telling a story and they go through all those things. I was sitting there, I'm like, is this Shaun of the Dead or is this Ant-Man?
Yeah.
Is this Shaun of the Ant-Man? I don't understand what's going on. But it was great. It really was. No,
Did
he's
he-
a fantastic writer, and I really did want to see that movie. I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
He should have won for editing. I will say.
Oh
that.
my
He
god.
should have
Yeah.
won for editing. That pissed me off.
At least he was nominated.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something.
It was nice to see Guillermo del Toro win something because I think people, not that he doesn't get a ton of credit, but he always makes these movies that are visually stunning and really beautiful and have a nice tone to them, and he doesn't. It's so dumb to me that the Oscars and the Academy doesn't consider a comic book movie or something like that for consideration. You can make an Oscar-worthy comic book movie, and not to digress here,
No.
but you really can. And it's so dumb to me with all of these universes and all of these movie franchises that they've done with the rise of Marvel, where they're going to be able to release what is effectively going to probably be a box set where it's just like, this is the first 10 years of what we've done, and it's like, what, 20 movies?
Yeah.
That the account, not that all of them deserve to be nominated, but you can't look at it and say, no, this is a great spy thriller, this is a great political thriller, this is a great action movie. Like, really, you can't.
They're all part of the same river.
Yeah, like, it just makes no
it's
sense
not
to
real
me.
enough. I feel, and that's what their excuse would be. But then again, you just had
The Shape of Water.
Yeah, you just had Shape of Water.
The
where
mother
it's
from Paddington.
I like Paddington, by the way.
I did too.
Yeah.
The mother from Paddington gets freaky with a fish man.
With a
That's not believable.
But I didn't see the Shape of Water. But didn't they? They had him. They gave him heart. They gave him.
Yeah, I mean, it's from what I've seen. I haven't seen the movie, but from what I understand, it really is a beautiful love story.
Yeah.
But
Love is
if
Blind,
their
kind of.
defense is it's not real enough, they just gave an Oscar to a movie that really, maybe 20, 30 years down the road, if we make some major scientific advancements, maybe at that point it's believable. Because we could have some sort of like fish-human hybrid, but now, no. And I believe it takes place in what, the 50s or 60s?
50s, 60s, yeah.
It wouldn't have been believable back then either.
Right.
It would have been less believable at that point. But, again, I'm sorry to digress.
No. It's actually, just side note, speaking of fishmen, I believe that they're going to do a remake of Splash, but they're going to flip the genders. And it's got Channing Tatum as a merman. I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, Channing Tatum's beautiful, so I think it makes a lot of sense to
the
make
man's
him
in
a
shape.
merman.
I don't think he can act, though. He's yet to impress me with his performances.
I enjoy him in the Jump Street movies, but
Okay, that's
I
true.
think that's really more his. I think,
I'll give you that one.
and I agree with you.
Yeah.
If you put him in a drama
Yeah.
where you expect him to carry a movie, I don't know if he's really there yet. Mm-hmm. But all it takes is one role for a guy to get over the hump, and it's like, well, that's his wheelhouse dramatically. Mm-hmm. And then they just come out with 7 other movies where he's doing that.
Yeah, hopefully.
And they're all very, very good. I mean, look at I love another anniversary this week, Big Lebowski. I'm a huge fan of that movie. Jeff Bridges to me is a fantastic actor, but really, until he did Crazy Heart a few years ago, you didn't really hear much from him.
That's true.
And then he had this slew of movies where he kind of played the same character, kind of like a downtrodden older man who's
kind of an alcoholic,
stoner, kind of a curmudgeon, kind of not really likable, but likable. And he came out with 7 or 8 different movies where he did that.
That's true. But you know what? In '91, it was before Lebowski. He did The Fisher King.
Yes, he did. And
Which-
that was supposed to be very, very good, right?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's him and Robin Williams. Robin Williams plays this homeless guy who befriends a
Williams.
radio disc jockey played by Jeff Bridges, who's like out of his mind. He's like suicidal. He's crazy. But that was a great performance, an early performance from Jeff Bridges.
Yes.
So it's
I
not.
also enjoyed his dad in Airplane.
Yeah, Lloyd Bridges, God rest his soul.
Picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue.
Oh my God, that's his father.
Yeah.
Oh my, Airplane's like my favorite movie. My favorite kind of movie of
And he
all
has a
time.
brother named Bo.
Bo Bridges.
Oh yeah.
The lesser bridge.
You're not as shocked. Not a shock
No,
there.
Because I feel like I knew him, but I
Thought
did
was
not
gonna
know.
blow your mind
I didn't know Lloyd Bridges was just. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And he was also in an episode of Seinfeld as Mr. Mandelbaum.
Lloyd Bridges?
Yeah.
God.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's great.
I don't know why, but when I think of Lloyd Bridges, I go to Gene Wilder.
What was-
Oh, you know what I want to talk about with Goldstone? Sorry.
Okay.
Going back to Goldstone.
We're having
for a
such a
minute.
lovely time. You
We are. We're having so much fun. We go back to Goldstone to make ourselves miserable.
Yes.
There's a scene where Swan is shooting off a gun, and for some reason I thought of Blazing Saddles, where he's like, "Look at this hand, steady as anything." Yeah, but I shoot with this hand. I don't know why I thought of that, and I just started chuckling to myself, like, because he was. I guess because he was the thing he was shooting, he was missing. So I just like sat there like, Blazing Saddles.
You should have shut Goldstone and put in Blazing Saddles.
and then been
Fire
like,
that up.
And then I come here and I'm like, yeah, well, you know, when the sheriff says, "Excuse me while I whip this out," and everybody ducks, and wait, this isn't Goldstone, this is Blazing Saddles. I watched the wrong movie. I was wondering why nobody sounded Australian. But yes, no, but yes, I'm sorry. Anyway,
No, it's fine.
my mind is
No, but back to the Oscars.
Yes.
Did you enjoy it? Did you watch it?
I did. I watched most of it. I ended up kind of getting a little tired, and I turned something else on at about 9:30, 10 o'clock, because I was getting ready for bed anyway, and I kind of couldn't sit there and watch the Oscars anymore. But I really did enjoy it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's wild. Like somebody I really enjoy. I've only seen her in one movie. Frances McDormand, to me,
Oh God.
I
That was
find
a great
it,
speech.
It's comical to me because she comes out, and this has nothing to do with her speech because I didn't see it.
Okay.
But I find her to be so amusing because like you don't hear from her for like 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Then she comes out and she makes this great movie, wins an award, and then goes away for another
That's
5 or
it.
6 years.
She'll be
She's
back in a
got it
couple-
down to a science.
It's like she goes into a coffin.
Like she does exactly.
Hypersleep.
Exactly. She went back into the coffin after Fargo. Okay, then time to go to sleep.
We have
And
a
then
perfect role. Open up the casket.
Yeah, she comes out for. I think she won an award for Olive Kittredge, right? That was an HBO show.
Well, I know she went for Fargo. She might have been nominated
She
for
went
that.
for Fargo.
for
Yeah, it's just like though the people that do that to me are so smart.
Yeah.
Because you're not overexposing yourself, and it's like when she wins something,
Yeah.
it's a serious thing. Like,
Right.
It's fantastic. I loved that Jordan Peele won.
Mm-hmm.
I was so happy for him
Yes.
that he
Yeah.
won something because it to me, I don't think like there's some issues I have with the Oscars just categorically. I don't think they give comedy enough of a
Well,
showing.
the Big Sick was awesome.
Yeah,
And it
yeah.
was nominated. I think it should have won.
I love Silicon. I have to see that movie. I really do because I love Silicon Valley and I love Kumail Nanjiani's character on that show. Dinesh is amazing.
Nice.
So I really do have to see that movie.
And there's another actually side note.
Yeah, go ahead.
Also,
Sorry.
with Silicon Valley, Middlevich. I forget his
Middlevich,
first-
yes.
He was in a movie reviewed a couple weeks ago called Entanglement, and he was great in it.
Yeah.
It was just like you need to give those comedic actors more roles, film roles.
Comedic actors don't get enough credit for what you. It is so hard to be funny.
Yeah.
And especially on command, or to just take words on a page and make them mean something,
Right,
but
your
also
own.
make them funny. You know, like to go off on the Silicon Valley thing for a minute. it's such a great show because they pretty much have spent the last 4 seasons failing at all these different things,
Okay.
and it's like
They're,
not to spoil
Yeah.
the last season, but like it really looked like they were at the end of their rope. And it really seemed like, where do they go with this?
So there's software.
but you still have laughs in it. You're still laughing. Like
Is it like an Office style? Like The Office?
It's more.
It's done by Mike Judge.
It's much.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's based
So,
on his time
enough said.
working.
Yeah.
It's based on his time supposedly working in Silicon Valley in the 80s.
Nice.
Yeah, it's these 4 guys. They're all software developers. T.J. Miller's character is kind of this
So funny.
stoner deadbeat guy who got really lucky on one project he helped with and sort of has been living off that the entire time. And Thomas Middleditch's character has this fantastic algorithm for compression and saving people space and stuff. And he basically has spent the last 4 seasons trying all these different concepts with it.
Okay.
He went up against this major software developer called Hooli and all that. And it really is a great show. And the episodes are like half an hour long, and they're all funny in their own different ways.
They're almost too short.
Yeah, they are. They are. They really are.
Almost too short.
Like what I had watched all 3 seasons, and then when season 4 came out, I was trying to keep up with it on HBO Go, and I ended up forgetting about it. And then I went back to it last week, and I was like, these episodes are like an hour long, right? And I like turned it on to pause it, and it was like 5 minutes left, and it was like 20 minutes. I was like, I don't like this.
It's one of the shows
needs to be longer.
Yeah, you just want more from it.
Absolutely.
You want so much from the show.
HBO's like that. Like I was like that with Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yes.
And Entourage. Like you just want to binge watch it as much as possible.
Yeah, but back to the Oscars if I can. I'm sorry.
Sure.
Like comedic actors and comedies in general deserve so much more spotlight than they get on the Oscars. Meanwhile, who have the last like 4 or 5 hosts been? Billy Crystal, which I don't think was really that
Steve
recent.
Martin hosted.
Jimmy Kimmel, Steve Martin,
Right.
Neil Patrick Harris,
Right. Oh, James Franco and Anne
Hathaway. That wasn't very good.
Right,
but,
right.
Yeah, like they're all. And what are they doing? They're literally going out there and doing shtick and being funny. Like, why does your host get to be funny and make them all laugh, but you can't give people who try to do it for a living the spotlight?
That's a good point.
Like some sort of comedy. Like just
sense.
Make it a category.
Yes.
Best comedy, man. Come on.
Best comedy.
That's how the Golden Globes does it. They divide it.
And then they do things too. Like I think, like did the Golden Globes do that with The Martian, where they gave The Martian the Golden Globe?
That was comedy.
And they put it in comedy.
That was in comedy.
It's almost like when they really want a film to get credit, they just shove it into another. Like it's this. Deal with it.
It's like
it's not.
You can't think of another movie that's actually like a comedy.
Yeah.
I just think people are too stuck up when it comes to comedy, man.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what
just
it is.
they look at it and they're just like, yeah.
I feel like comedy gets held up to such a higher standard to certain people.
Well, it's the same thing with comic book movies and that whole genre. And then they're never going to come out with a comic book movie genre. You could do fantasy comedy. You could even put them together and just say best film fantasy comedy, best actor fantasy comedy.
Well, speaking of
just covering all aspects.
They kind of meshed action and supernatural with Bright.
That's true.
Will Smith. It wasn't a great film, but it was a good experiment.
I thought it was better than whatever. I actually watched that film. I thought it was a lot better than people were telling it. Like
it was called the worst movie of 2017.
Yeah, I very and this is going to sound really ironic. So get ready, people. I don't listen to critics a ton when it comes to movie reviews on a movie review show.
No.
Reading all of those articles about how terrible Bright was like, I want to watch Bright now. It's like same thing with Super Size Me. We watched it in high school, and on my lunch break that day, I went and got a Big Mac.
That was great.
That's just what happens to me. I get like motivated to do the opposite of what people are telling me. I thought the movie was a lot better than I was expecting to watch a complete train wreck.
It had some It was sort of like it had some train wreck moments.
Yeah. But I thought it was considerably better than I expected it to be.
The relationship between the two, the orc and Will Smith.
Yeah, that was a very nice dynamic.
Mm-hmm. You know what?
Yeah.
I wanted to mention real quick, but Oh Lucy, did you know it was produced by Will Ferrell and Adam McKay?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? I could see that. I could honestly see that because Will Ferrell's done films like Stranger Than Fiction that are kind of darkish comedies where, he's not necessarily going out there and doing Step Brothers, but he's not going out there and doing, The Green Mile either. He's, kind of towing that line, which also aggravates me about awards season is like they only look at like black comedies or like dark comedies where it's not like overtly funny.
I like Stranger Than Fiction though.
Stranger Than Fiction was very good. I enjoyed that movie.
That was like the first dramatic performance from
Yes,
Ferrell.
yes, and the thing about comedic actors to me too, and I hope I'm not taking too much of your time talking about.
No,
this.
it's
sorry. They have to pull that from sometimes a very dark place, and a place where, and if you, not to get too dark, but stuff that happens to guys like Robin Williams and the like, where their lives end in not the most positive of ways, or they're found dead, or they have addiction issues, or whatever the case is, and they pull the comedy out of that,
right?
Because they want everybody else to feel good.
I don't know this, but the comedy comes out of pain and darkness.
And being able to flip the script on that, and being dark, and being miserable, and not being happy about where you are, and conveying that to a camera is so much. Like Jordan Peele did Key and Peele for how many seasons, where they did the
couple years
the player introductions for the Super Bowl and the All-Star games and everything that were hysterical.
Right.
And I haven't seen Get Out, but from everything I've said, he made a fantastic film with great social commentary and just a complete thriller and a scary movie that you don't really...
And it's just fresh. It's an original film.
Yeah, absolutely. And he said he stopped writing it, 20 times because he didn't think it was going to work. I mean, and nothing against Hollywood, but they don't make movies like that anymore. Yeah. They all want to do safe stuff. They all want to do franchises. They all want to do 4 or 5 picture deals with one guy. They're the main character, and everything's built around them. Right. I mean, look at the Dan Brown movies. To me, Da Vinci Code really was the only good one.
Yeah, Angels and Demons.
Angels
Inferno were not.
We can't even talk about Angels and Demons because I will go on a diatribe about that movie.
Right.
Because I read the book, and that movie made me so mad. I was sitting there watching the movie, screaming at the television at my ex-girlfriend's house, yelling about it.
It was like a nuclear bomb.
All the stuff they changed.
They threw up into the square.
That didn't even necessarily.
And stuff like
antimatter or something.
That was closer to the book. What bothered me is that everybody that was Italian in the book, they made Irish. Like you couldn't find a good Italian actor who can do that.
Right. Ian McGregor played the.
Yeah, like it was like they just wanted to get Ewan McGregor to do the movie, so they were just like, they're Irish now. It's fine. I just didn't like that.
Yeah, the Dan Brown movies, man. Like the books are good. I like the books. They're very intriguing, very thoughtful. But then like I seen the movies, I'm like, wow, they're cut like a lot out of the book. A lot. Because they want to take it down and make it digestible for the common person that never heard of the book and didn't read the book. Yeah. Like when they did that with Moneyball, I thought they did a fantastic job with that film because they took the concept of sabermetrics. I don't know if either of you guys are sports fans at all, but it was they made it digestible. So if you watched it, you would be like, oh, I get what they're doing. Meanwhile, the book, 50 times more intense.
Right.
That's like The Big Short. Ever see that one?
Yeah.
That was another amazing
Here's Margot
movie.
Robbie in a hot tub explaining real estate to you.
I'm coming from a finance background. So I'm like kind of like, oh, I got this, and that's really neat, and and I know, and I myself, I work in banking 9 to 5, but I know nothing about real estate from that perspective. Where I went and saw The Big Short because I really enjoy Steve Carell in dramatic roles, and I watched that, and I was like, I don't really know what's going on. They're like, here's Margot Robbie in a hot tub explaining it. I'm like, you know what? I understand what Margot Robbie's telling me. I'm not gawking at her in a hot tub. I'm listening to her words, and it was good.
Nice.
So.
Well, Nick, we got to wrap this segment up.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
You can't have me by myself.
No,
I'll just ramble.
It's fine. It's awesome. Do you have anything you want to plug?
Yes, I have a podcast I host with 2 of my friends. It is available on iTunes, Google Play, and the app Podbean. It is called the Wrestling Podcast About Wrestling. If you search WPAW in iTunes, Google Play, or Podbean, it will come up. I can be found on Twitter, Instagram, at Nick Comando, 1 M in my last name. I'm not the Schwarzenegger movie.
Love that.
So hopefully this isn't this rambling will end at some point because I'm still talking.
Yes, you are.
Thank you, Randy. I appreciate you having me on, man.
Nick, it was awesome, and hope to have you again on soon.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Cool. Awesome.
I'll take something next time so I'm not as talkative.
Okay. Good idea. No, I'm kidding. So, guys, we will be right back with more. I'll be interviewing actors Michael Maugeri and Danielle Williams. So, stay tuned. We'll be right back. No, that was good. I'm sorry. No, it's okay. It was entertaining.
All right.
Carriage underneath the stars. An opportunity comes knocking. Let's get drunk on Mars. Let's get drunk on Mars. Yeah. opportunity comes knocking. Let's get drunk on Mars. I gotta let you go, I'm scared. Can't give you any kind of comfort that'd be fair. The longing rages in my heart. It tears me all apart. When you turn me on, you devastate my plans. When it comes to you and me, it's back to you I'll always be. When it comes to you and me, I can see the forest for the trees. I've lost all my focus since you opened up my eyes. I can trace your outline by the scars you left behind. I feel like I've been shot, bleeding out, straining to speak. My pulse is slowing down. I'm so weak. When it comes to you and me, it's back to you I'll always be. When it comes to you and me, I see the forest for the trees. When it comes to you and me, it's back to you I'll always be. When it comes to you and me, I can see the forest
tackling. You starred in it. You wrote it. You directed. What was it like wearing so many hats?
It sucked.
Yeah.
No,
I like the honesty.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, I like I says, I have a newfound respect for directors and all filmmakers and producers and writers and just editing. Damn.
Yeah.
You know, like I mean, we finished the film almost a year ago, and I just completed editing recently
On Kepler?
On Kepler.
Wow.
But again, granted, I am doing everything myself. I didn't know there was color grading and then color correcting and then sound editing and then sound mixing and and I see these awards every year at the Oscars, and I'm like, well, you know, that's amazing and stuff like that. But I never realized the work that goes into this.
Yeah, there's a lot of people involved. It's not just the actors.
Yeah. So, but it was nice because it gave me that aspect on it. I was a little worried that it would hinder my acting also. Wearing those hats and being on set at the same time.
Like you wouldn't be so focused.
Right. Okay. Where I have seen my work as an actor, and like I said, I've done 2 films previous that never surfaced. And it's just because the film wasn't good enough, honestly. Both these 2 past films. So Beyond Kepler, but it was a little bit more, Beyond Kepler was a little bit more heartfelt to me. It's something that... In college, I failed astronomy. You know, I have no interest in science, but now I can probably cite things that's actually based off NASA's research and stuff because I've done so much research.
Right.
So the amount of work that I've put into this before it even got to the screen has been just tremendous. So again, I've got a new appreciation for space exploration and science and physics and things like that.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Danielle, you're so quiet.
That's because I won't shut up.
Yeah. Tell us about your role, your involvement in the film.
So I play Penny Morrow in the film. She's NASA. Gosh, what did we decide she was?
Well, she works in NASA.
She works in NASA.
She grew up behind the closed doors with my character.
All right.
And so they are dating. And he is.
And we're dating under the radar or under the radar.
Under the radar, yes.
And
well, I thought you're not an astronaut too in this.
Well. Her goal is to be on the ship.
Okay.
She wants to be one of the astronauts to go to Kepler.
That's her motivation. Okay.
Motivation is to get to Kepler, stay with him, find this new planet, make amazing discoveries, have adventures, that kind of thing.
That's awesome.
So I love this character because of her sense of adventure, her passion for the project, and her love for William Montgomery, because they want to go into the stars together.
Nice.
You know,
that's so pretty.
It's nice. So I really like Penny.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are your backgrounds, guys? Like, what is your acting background like?
I'm a musical theater kid, really.
Cool,
yeah.
cool.
So I studied musical theater in college. I pretty much every day, especially right now, I'm auditioning for musicals.
Cool.
But picking up short films where I can, like this, student films. That
just struck me. You got a Jessica Biel thing about you.
I've gotten that a lot.
Bit. Yeah. Wow. That's weird.
Yeah.
You know, if I could just say something for casting her.
Yeah.
I saw at least 600 girls in auditions, and
really?
I was looking for a specific look.
So this is how you met. This is how you.
Yeah, I applied on Backstage, just like on a whim.
And I literally went through submission after submission after submission. I just couldn't find a girl who could give me a look and give me a performance. And I knew what I wanted, and her look was perfect. And she came in kind of towards the end, and I'm just like, I saw her headshot, and I'm like, if this girl could act at all, even if she could remember a line or two, she's in.
Okay.
And she sent me this tape, and of course, it was hands down the best tape I've gotten out of 600 girls. So like, casting her was the
literally 600.
Over 600.
It's quite a lot of actresses in the New York area.
Beyond New York.
It's like down the block, like 600.
It's just all of us in one building, actually.
It's actually that building right over there.
Filled with actresses.
Just 600 of us living there communally.
Yeah, there was easily over 3,000 submissions in total. But main roles for like Penny was like one of the biggest roles that was people were sending auditions for, and like I said, 600, over 600.
And did you go through a casting agency or did you do it yourself?
I did it all myself.
Wow.
Which
so there's another title under your belt there.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Casting
director.
Wow.
Man, I got like a problem taking out the garbage.
Dude, I literally casted while I was taking out the garbage on my phone, just watching these videos. Dude. While I'm taking a crap, just watching these videos. Like,
I'm not even joking. Like, I literally forgot to take out the garbage today.
Yeah.
And you're sitting here. What else did I forget?
Like, oh shit! I totally. my wife's gonna be so mad. Man, like that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
So what was it like on set? Was it like a light, fun set? I'm imagining, or
In my head, no.
because
I had so many hats on. I don't know.
On my side, I had a great time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was incredible meeting so many different. I mean, it was my first acting experience in New York.
Cool.
I got to meet so many people from many different parts of acting.
Where are you from originally?
California.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, San Jose. So
How
Bay
was the
Area.
acting climate there compared to New York?
So Bay Area, I feel like is more heavily theater, which is what I do.
Right.
But I wanted to be in New York.
Okay.
I knew that, and then when I wanted to do film stuff, but I was more into theater. And then when I saw that there was also film to do here, and it's been picking up more and more, that was only even more reason for me to come here.
Okay. And now, Mike or Michael? What do you prefer?
Yeah, what have you?
All right, Mike.
That's okay. The last name's the
Yeah, the
struggle.
last name I'm gonna butcher. I'm never gonna try that again.
Yeah, that was all good.
What do you hope audiences take away from the film?
Honestly, so I wrote the film to create work for myself as an actor, because that's what I am. I'm an actor
Right.
/ filmmaker now.
Right. But actor first and foremost.
Always. But at the same time, again, this story really hit home with me. I really loved it. I really loved the dynamic, because you notice there's also a character who's really not seen at all, and that's Will Montgomery's father. And
Right. In that flashback scene with the telescope.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. My relationship with my father is phenomenal.
Okay.
And it's just I kind of base it off of that a little bit.
Okay.
Which he doesn't know, so he'll see, and he probably still won't even understand it, because he just won't.
He'll be pleasantly surprised at the premiere.
Yeah, but I mean, there's so many different meanings behind all of this. So even as an actor, there's also a theme of legacy, which I'm sure you heard in the film also.
Yeah.
And the same thing, with acting. It's legacy. How many guys are still talked about today? Things like that.
Yeah. Jim Walsh bad mouthing your father.
Right.
That was good. That was a good scene.
Really. And that's funny that you said that, because that was a scene that was added much later on, not in the original script. So
it really worked well.
Yeah, and that because I felt like there was something missing. Yeah. And I said, well, okay, I need to write another scene in here, because without that scene, Will Montgomery, the story's kind of forgotten about him and more focused on the astronauts, and that was great. Okay. But the whole thing revolved around the world of Will Montgomery. So that's why I made it more about Jim Walsh's character bad-mouthing my father. Right. So that kind of
I worked with your father.
Yeah. I was like, I worked with your father back in the day. Like, I know, asshole.
So what is the goal? Like, you want to put these in? It's not completed, right?
Well, it's 99. I sent you the rough cut. Okay. I've got a 99.9% completed version.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And so it's going out to festivals right now. Nice. It's hitting the ground running. And that literally just started this past week, and we started sending it out. Okay. So, but again, I also wrote it to go for a feature film. Okay. To raise awareness of a concept that could be a feature.
And how are you going about funding, Indiegogo or Kickstarter?
No, I was blessed with an angel. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Private funder. And
great.
She came in at game time and really helped me out. Doreen Levy was amazing.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, and she took a huge gamble on me, and I'm excited to show her the film most of all. Okay. So we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah. Danielle, I'm curious. Do you have any inspirations? Like, are there any actors out there that have inspired your craft?
So I was thinking about this earlier. Actually, I adore Jesse Mueller. Have you seen Waitress?
The play, the
show that's out right now.
No.
Okay. Well, since I'm a musical theater performer first and foremost, and sometimes I find musical theater acting to be cheesy, depending on the show. If it's older, if it's newer.
It works for Glee, right?
It works for Glee. But her character Jenna is unbelievably real. Okay. And I feel that is something that translates between film and this character, and that character, you have to be somebody who can sing, who can act, and not just in a cheesy musical theater kind of way. Right. Something that genuinely makes you feel something other than I'm having fun. And I love a good musical that makes you have fun, like Hello Dolly, amazing. But Waitress, I've never cried and cried so much in one show.
It's a little bipolar. It's cool though.
Yeah, it's a lot, but it's something that she as a performer brings to that character, because I know there are other people going out and playing that role now that she's left the show.
Okay.
And I'm sure they're phenomenal, but I would have hated to miss her performance.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what is your opinion? Like, do you prefer stage or film? How are they different in your mind?
I prefer stage just because I love to sing.
Okay.
I love singing and I love acting, and to do them both together and throw in a little dance and I'm yours.
So, Mike, are you going to do a musical now?
No.
I can see Beyond Kepler as a musical.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's been brought up before.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'd be in.
Nice.
Yeah. So, but I love film in a different way because it's more intimate.
Okay.
And that you get to, I don't know, I can't think of the right word. Stage is for you in the way that it's like self gratifying, right
You're
away.
in the moment more.
You're in the moment.
Yeah, because it's
You
live.
only have one chance to do it.
Right.
And you get the instant feedback from the audience, which is incredible. And I love any moment in which I could find a way to interact with somebody in the audience.
Nice.
Film is cool in that it's really if it's just the two of you, it's just the two of you.
Yeah.
There may be everybody else around you, sound, boom, camera guy, DP, everybody, but it feels really like just the two of you.
Nice.
Mike,
have you done theater?
Yes.
He's about to.
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just got casted in the play, but
oh cool.
Yeah, no, I did the high school theater, a little bit theater outside of that afterwards, but not too much.
Okay.
I'm not a singer, not a dancer, by any means necessary.
You're still young,
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Well, who are some of your influences film-wise?
Oh man. Well, I mean, first and foremost, it's always going to be Leonardo DiCaprio, who got me into acting more so.
Really?
Yeah.
Which movie?
Man. Catch Me If You Can.
Oh yeah.
Was like right around the time where he was really starting to catch the bug.
Oh, too.
But believe it or not, it was Titanic. It was Jack. And you know why? It's because I hated him. It's because my eighth grade girlfriend had a poster of him on her wall. Like, I hated this guy.
Never let
and then
go.
I watched Titanic. And I was like, he's so cool.
He's so cool.
I think that's what like every man goes through. That they just like of our generation. Like I hate Leonardo DiCaprio, and then they watch like Django Unchained, and like,
you're like, oh, he's so great.
He's matured as an actor, definitely.
Oh my god, Wolf of Wall Street, man.
I don't think I've ever heard him talk. Like he's like an actor. I've never heard him just talk.
He speaks.
I feel like I've never heard him talk. Like I've seen him in so. Like he's never just like, hey, how are you?
Yeah,
nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Like I've never heard the man talk.
My favorite role, Revolutionary Road.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm so happy you said that.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
That movie's insane.
It's such an underlying
you never hear about it.
Never.
I've never heard of it.
And it's Kate Winslet, Kathy Bates, the Titanic team back together.
3 of them back together.
And it's such incredible.
12 years later.
Yeah, the acting, his outburst, his high and lows is just, it's unbelievable.
Basically, they're a married couple in the 50s that are really dysfunctional. They're having this huge, they have fights like in every scene.
Simple plot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the acting's phenomenal. Better than Titanic, I think.
110%. Yeah. But it's just a simple plot. Simple, like, there's no big scenario. There's nothing tremendous that happens. It's just...
Plus, you got Michael Shannon.
Yeah. It's just, oh my God, how can I forget?
He's really great.
He's awesome.
He's the best.
Yeah, one of my favorite scenes is with him when DiCaprio blows up on him at the dinner table in front of his mom. It's just like, well, he's sick.
Yeah. That was also directed by Sam Mendes.
Yeah. Kate Winslet, at the time, Kate Winslet's husband.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's interesting trivia. Yeah. Cool. Any other influences?
Well, for film in general, like, I guess I could say the directing bug is always gonna be Martin Scorsese.
Nice.
He's just one of my favorite films. Is always gonna be Raging Bull.
Beautiful film.
And then also late in the game, not really late in the game, but Tom Hardy.
Oh yeah.
Tom Hardy's been kind of like my modern day Marlon Brando kind of guy. Can just transform into anything.
I want to see more of him in Dunkirk. To be honest with you.
Well, yeah, I want to see more of him in everything.
Yeah.
But, his role in Bronson.
Didn't see that.
Amazing. Yeah. I mean, he transferred his body, and he's had a little bit of a rough upbringing.
Okay.
And to bounce back the way he did, and to be the human that he is today, also off screen, is just rewarding.
He transformed his body too for Dark Knight Rises too, right?
Well, yeah. Originally, he was he transferred from Bronson, and then he went and transferred he got even more jacked for a film called Warrior with Joel Egerton.
Was that a boxing movie?
It was UFC.
UFC.
And,
cool.
and that was like the movie that like just put him on the map.
Oh, nice.
And then after that, and then he went back to did Spy vs. Spy with Chris Pine, and he was like slim and slender again. And then he went back to Bane.
That was so bad.
It really wasn't bad. It was.
I hated it. I'm sorry.
It's the kind of movie that we call cute.
I didn't think it was cute.
It's cute. It's alright.
No, I don't know.
That's almost like a backhanded compliment. Yeah, it's cute.
Exactly. It's cute. It's alright.
So, in your opinion, what makes a good both of you? What makes a good actor?
I think somebody who can simply just be human. You know, I don't think it takes much more than that to make somebody feel something or want to root for you. I think that's it.
Okay.
Did you ever see the movie Life with Mikey?
Is that Michael J. Fox?
That is Michael J. Fox.
Wow. Nathan Lane?
Yeah.
That's such a good movie.
He said something in that movie that's always stuck with me. He goes, "Everybody's an actor. You can lie, right? You're an actor. You can lie, right?" But it's to me, it's lying, but with truth, if that makes sense.
I like that.
So it's bringing truth to a character, but it's not who you are. You know, you may instill a little bit of yourself into each character that you do,
and that's what makes it different from what somebody else would do.
It's truth, but you're lying.
It's like lying without consequences.
Right.
Joe's gonna get a problem. I'm fine.
I'm fine.
Right.
True lies, huh?
Yeah. So that's why also too, if you notice in Beyond Kepler, there's a lot of scenes where the character's talking, but the camera's not focused on the person who's talking.
Okay.
It's focused on the reactions of the person listening. And then I did that for a very specific reason. I find a lot more truth in the reaction because they always say acting is reacting. So to see the reaction of somebody who's actually getting something from the actor, it creates a different kind of moment.
Okay. So do you see this turning to like a franchise or even a series?
No, I mean, I really would like to push for the feature just to get some of the characters that I wrote that I'm very proud of, like Jack's character, Director Grant. I mean, some of these characters just need to be out there. Yeah. And I mean, they could be in a series and stuff like that, but it was meant to be a feature. Yeah. And I started writing the feature
that way
too.
From the short. Yeah.
Yeah, I started writing the feature too, even before I wrote the short, and I says, listen, I really can't do this. Not, so.
Now, did I notice some music in the film?
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
What's the story behind that? I'm curious.
I'm
a big film score geek. So.
Brad Fry.
Brad Fry?
My God.
Nice.
He's a protege that will never admit it, and he doesn't know it yet. So he just had the Philharmonic Orchestra out in California actually do one of his songs not too long ago.
All right.
And he's still so modest about it. He's like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool and all. And he's a young kid, man. He's still in school in Philadelphia.
High school or college?
No, college.
Okay.
But he did the film for Purple Cloud is Michael Robert Anderson and Matt Provenzano. They were here, last time we were here.
Right.
And their company, he did a film from Matt once a while back, and Matt and Mike, and then they carried him over from project to project. I saw Matt's project because I wasn't friends with Matt. I was a fan of Matt's first before I was a friend of his, and I went to one of the premieres. And I was like, the music was great.
Nice.
And then I met the kid, and I said, I kept listening to his work just without a movie in front of it, just his work in general. It brings real emotion to you.
How important is a good film score to you?
It's it ties everything together.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's some unoriginal music in the film right now.
Yeah.
I think I included Tom Waits. Bee Gees are in there right now. So that's just to give Brad Fry the feel for the moment for when he does score it. So that's the 0.1% that's going to be done.
Now, when you mentioned that it's going to be released April?
I'm pushing right now for a late April release. Okay. Right around the time of the Tribeca Film Festival.
So would you submit it to Tribeca or smaller theaters?
We actually got denied from Tribeca.
Oh no.
Yeah, we got the word this past last weekend. So if anybody from Beyond Kepler's watching, sorry guys.
There's plenty other. There's the Kew Gardens Cinema Festival of Cinema. Yeah. It's in Queens.
Yeah, we're gonna hit everything.
Hit them all.
Yeah,
hit them all.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, I mean, Tribeca. It was a long shot. We came in late into the game. It was actually recommended through an acting teacher of mine who passed away. Okay. So, again, we had the foot in the door, and then when she passed away, the door kind of closed. Oh. So that was that, and then So then we had to just kind of go on our own. Luckily, they let us submit a little bit late in the game, but at the same token, they didn't let us not this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's plenty of festivals.
Yeah.
out
Now
there.
we'll still be there.
Yeah.
We'll still be there. You know what I'm saying?
So, do you have any advice for aspiring actors, artists, directors out there, Danielle?
Don't give up.
Nice.
Yeah, don't give
Simple.
up. Every day I go to an audition. Every day I get a no. One day it'll be a yes, and this was a yes.
Oh.
You know? And that's okay. And I realized I keep thinking I'm going to get to this extreme rock bottom where I'm going to be like, oh, I can't do it anymore. And then, some extremely amazing thing is going to come up, but I don't know that I'm the person who's going to be like, I've hit rock bottom. I need to give up on my dream.
Right.
Because I'm the kind of person who I don't like to fail, so I will keep pushing until I get somewhere.
Great.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't remember the name, but the photographer who shot her headshots needs to be named because her headshots are freaking amazing.
What's his name?
His name's Michael.
Also Michael.
Yeah, also
not me,
Michael.
No, not you.
Not me. I swear.
You don't wear that hat.
No, not yet.
Gosh, what was his last
I don't know. What are
name?
you looking at me
Michael,
for?
why can't I remember your last name? He's amazing though. We had the best time.
Check her social media and she'll
I
post his
will.
name because
I do.
His headshot was really like as soon as I posted that this girl was casted in Beyond Kepler, I have not gotten so many guys chime into me and females telling me how beautiful this girl is,
Right.
and I was like, well, that's why I casted her.
Yeah.
No, and then you got to see her talent. Oh, you saw her talent.
Yeah.
Amazing,
Very good.
right?
Very good. Penny, great character.
And then some of the advice I'd have for young actors and filmmakers.
I just remembered his name.
What's his name?
Michael Kushner.
Oh. Sounds familiar.
Not related to Tony Kushner.
Okay. Good.
Anyway, you were saying.
No, yeah. Any advice for actors
Yeah.
and filmmakers and anybody in this industry or any kind of artist? Danny Nucci said it to me best, and I was just
Danny Nucci.
Yeah, I was actually
Awesome.
saying it in the green room because that's actually the first guy that I've worked with in California.
Really?
And it's just so funny. He was on Titanic also.
Yep.
But he said to me one thing that stuck with me, and he says every actor is one job away. Doesn't matter if you've done 100 films, one film, you're one film away. So keep pushing.
One film away from dying in a film.
Exactly.
yeah.
And Daniel, she died in 3 films back to back.
Yeah.
But it's okay. I like Daniel.
I had a run of that too, short film. I
Did
just
you?
died in everything. Yeah, got killed, got whacked, everything. Well,
I haven't died in a film yet, but I've also never been in films, so I'm kind of running a good
It's
ratio.
okay.
Yeah.
You'll get there.
Yeah,
You'll
go
get
for
there.
it.
You'll meet that goal, I think. I hope. To die in a
I'm a
film.
director now, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
He could kill you.
I would love to be killed in a movie. I just want to be like, oh, what? Like, I want to show it to my family. Be like, okay, so here's the extent of my acting ability. Yeah, there we go. Okay. And hope you all enjoy that and feel bad for me.
Awesome.
I'm gonna kill you in the worst way, though.
Oh, dude, just be like, whenever if you're writing something, you're like, I need someone to die right here in the most awful way. Just give me a call.
Yeah, it's like you got a loose
Ready.
tooth, you tie a thing around you, and then the truck takes off, and rips your whole head off. And
Oh,
just,
dude, go
Nice.
for it. Go for it.
Very creative.
Yeah.
that was on the fly too. Just
It could be something like stupid, like a crock pot explodes, and like I'm the make whatever you want. I want a resume. I'm like, yeah, I died in that, and I also died in that, and I died in that. None of them were great.
So, guys, what you have anything else you want to plug? Anything you want to mention? Social media?
Social media. I'm on Facebook, Danielle Williams. I've got a page, and then my Instagram is DMarieWilly, DMarieWilly. And then obviously follow Beyond Kepler on Facebook, Instagram. Do we have anything else?
It's on Twitter.
Twitter. Yeah.
this is really great alcohol, by the way.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, thanks.
Only the best vodka for you guys. Anything else you want to?
Yeah, I mean, you can follow me Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Everything is Michael Maugeri. Maugeri. My father always says when you go and tell your teachers back in school, he's like, tell them to think more cheery, like I'm a happy guy.
Okay, that works.
But, yeah. But it's Maugeri, Maugeri.
Okay.
Like I said, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and then also Beyond Kepler, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
Cool.
Yep.
All right, guys. So I just want to mention some stuff. I want to mention the Never Again, a night to benefit Stoneman Douglas High School. It's an event that will be a night of comedy and music featuring Mike Birbiglia, Lena Hall, Christian Finnegan, Michelle Buteau, Joe Firestone, and Dave Hill. It'll be hosted by Seth Herzog, and it'll be taking place at the Bell House in Brooklyn, New York on Wednesday, March 21st at 7 p.m. So it's for a great cause, so please check that out. Also, I will not be here next Sunday. I will be in Boston marching in the St. Patrick's Day Parade with the fellow Ghostbusters. So that should be amazing.
You're a huge fan too.
I'm a New York City Ghostbuster.
Yeah.
So we'll be marching proudly, representing New York and the whole Ghostbusters community. So I will be back in about 2 weeks. But I want to thank everyone for being on my show today. Guys, thank you.
Thank you
so much.
This was the 30th episode, and you made it really special. Nick, thank you. And of course, Steve, as always, thank you, sir.
Thanks, Steve.
You're welcome.
Yeah. All right. So we'll be back in 2 weeks, and I want to thank everyone again, and we'll see you soon. Bye.